Good morning, grade 9s. Welcome to your first online lesson. Today is Tuesday, the 14th of April, and I hope you had a wonderful Easter weekend. We are going to get the ball rolling with grade 9 equations. You will remember last term we finished off with algebraic expressions, and now we're going to move on with equations. And we're going to start just by solving simple equations. So for some of you, this is just a recap on the equations that you've done last year already. So if you will just bear with me. Otherwise, remember, you are more than welcome to work a little bit ahead. It does not matter, as long as you at the end of the week that you've covered all the work in the exercise book. You can continue with your work in your exercise book, and when it is required for you to submit something, you can just take a picture and upload it onto the MS Teams under your assignments. An assignment will be created if a teacher has asked you to submit something. All right, we're going to start looking at solving very simple equations. You can remember when you were young, grade 1 or grade 2 already, we've started with equations like this, where instead of an x, there was a little block. What plus 5 is equal to 8? And you would have done this by inspection. What plus 5 gives you 8? Maybe 4. 4 plus 5 gives you 9. No, that's a little bit too high. You would have gone down a bit. 3. 3 plus 5 gives you 8. All right. Now in grade 8 and grade 9, we are working with a little bit more complex equations, and we find x by means of doing the inverse operation. So your main aim is you want to get x alone. You want to get x alone so that you at the end obviously can have x is equal to your answer. So how do we get x alone? If you have two terms on one side of the equation and one term on the other side, please remember, have a look. There's an x over here. You want to get x alone. There's the loose term that's next to x. We don't want that plus 5 there. How do we get rid of the plus 5? By doing the inverse. Plus 5 minus 5. But with equations, everything is a balance. The left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. That is a balance. So whenever you do something on the left-hand side, you have to apply that to the right-hand side. So if you minus 5 over there, you have to minus 5 on the other side. Thus, x is equal to, remember that plus 5 minus 5 fell away, or it became 0, which basically falls away, and 8 minus 5 gives you 3. Okay, so very easy example. Let's have a look at example 2. 2x plus 3 is equal to 13. All right, so now we've got two terms over here, and there's the x. Please, people, you cannot divide by 2 first. You have to look at the terms. There's 2 terms. The x, yes, there is a 2 attached to the x, but first we want to get the 2x then alone. So how do we do that? By doing the inverse. The plus 3, we make it a minus 3, like you can see there, but what you do on the one side, you have to do on the other side. So instead of writing this the whole time like this, you can say you're going to do the inverse by throwing it over. I always say you throw it over to the other side. What happens? The only thing that you're allowed to throw over, or the only reason you're allowed to throw over, is if you make that plus 3 a minus 3. So once you throw it over to the other side, it becomes a minus 3. That plus 3, please remember, every term has got a sign in front of them. So that 3 is not just a 3, it's a positive 3. Okay, especially when we get to the negatives, please, whatever's in front of that term goes with that term. Okay, so if you throw it over, it becomes a minus 3. Then you are left, that plus 3 minus 3 fell away. You are left with 2x is equal to 13 minus 3 is 10. Okay, so now you can say, what is happening to the x? The x is standing next to a 2. I always say when they stand together, they are vibing, they are multiplying. So 2 times x. What is the inverse operation of 2 times x? It's to divide by 2. So x times 2, divide by 2, that then falls away. So it's the inverse of timesing by 2 is divide by 2. Because if you can see here, 2x divided by 2, that 2 divided by 2 falls away, or it becomes 1, and what is left? 1x. Okay, and what you do on the one side, you have to do on the other side. 10 divided by 2 gives you 5. Okay, let's quickly have a look at the next example, where we have timesing with a fraction. Sometimes you get a fright and you don't know what to do. Let's look at this one. 2 over 3x plus 2 is equal to 6. All right, so what is the loose term? The loose term there next to x is a plus 2. We don't want that plus 2. So we throw him over to the other side, but please remember, the plus 2 then becomes a minus 2. All right, so 6 minus 2 then gives you 4, and that 2 fell away because what you actually did is plus 2 minus 2 on this side and you minus 2 on that side. But instead of writing it the whole time, you can just use this method as to think that you're throwing it over to the other side, and then a plus 2 becomes a minus 2, so 6 minus 2 is 4. Okay, now you've got 2 over 3 x, so 2 over 3 times by x is equal to 4. What is the inverse of times by x? Times by 2 over 3 is divide by 2 over 3. So that if you divide those away, so that will fall away and you are left with the x. But what you do on the one side, you have to do on the other side. And 4 divided by 2 over 3, please remember, don't get a fright. You can just put it in your calculator into that at 2 over 3, and then you will get the answer is 6. Okay, so don't be scared of fractions. Remember, if it's times by whatever's in front, you divide with that to get it away, and what you do on the one side, you have to do on the other side. Okay, let's have a look at the last example. X plus 4 is equal to 8. So what is loose there? The x, it's still attached, it's still doing something to 5. So that's still one term. Now remember, a term is separated by a plus or a minus unless it is part of a fraction, which this one is, or it is in brackets. Okay, so if it's part of a fraction, that's one term. You leave him alone. He's in a little cocoon. You leave him until the end. Okay, so that plus 4 goes over to the other side. It becomes a minus 4, and that then falls away, and you are left with x over 5 is equal to, and then just do the operation here. 8 minus 4 is 4. Okay, so now you ask yourself, what is happening to x? What is happening to x? X is being divided by 5. So what is the opposite of divide by 5? Times by 5. Okay, so let's just check it here with normal numbers. 10 divided by 2 times 2, it's going to give you that 10. That divide by 2 times 2, they are inverse operations, so that falls away, that neutralizes it basically, and you are left with 10. Same with 16. 16 divided by 4 times by 4, that then falls away, that makes it fall away, and you are left with that 16. X divided by 5 times by 5, that's the inverse operation of divide by 5 is times by 5, that's why it falls away and you are left with an x there. So the same over here, if you look at your equation here again, x divided by 5 times by 5, so that divide by 5 times by 5 makes it fall away and you are left with the x. But what you do on the one side, you have to do on the other side. 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, and that's it for today, grade 9s. Thank you for watching. Please remember to do your homework. It's on page 130, exercise 9.2, number 1 and 2, all of them. Okay, you will see it goes quite quickly. And then tomorrow, in your to-do list, the little Word document that you're going to open, you will see at the end the memo would be there for this exercise. Great. Thank you, guys. Enjoy your day. Bye-bye.